Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. G, and it is Friday, March 10th, and this is your recorded video lesson as promised to you yesterday. Today is an async day. So what I need you all to do is to log into Sapphire. You are going to have a Sapphire assignment to ensure that you have watched this video and you have gone through this lesson because you do not want to be lost on Monday when we continue this lesson on Monday. So log into Sapphire, and if you need to pause this video, you can do so. Click on Math plus Red under Recent Grade Updates, and you want to open up your Async Symmetry assignment. You want to open up that Async Symmetry assignment, and I'm going to make that red for you so you can see that. Your Async Symmetry assignment. And you are going to complete this assignment as you watch this video lesson, pausing and going back and forth, okay, between the video and the assignment. So you can pause this and go ahead and get that assignment open and ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to answer number 1. So number 1 asks you to name the following shape. How many sides and angles does this shape have? Okay. Actually, let's just focus on naming the shape. Let's not worry about answering that second question because it's a multiple choice question and I want to know what that shape is. You can always look in your class page in Sapphire to help you identify that shape. So go ahead and answer that. You can pause this video, answer that number 1 question, and then come on back to class. So now that you've answered number 1, let's go ahead and read our objectives for today. So we are going to identify lines of symmetry within figures. So you may be asking yourself, well, what is symmetry? Okay, we're going to learn about what symmetry is today. But before we do that, just want to do another quick review. And you're going to answer number 2 in your Sapphire assignment. What is this shape? You may also go to your class page in Sapphire to help you identify this shape. You may want to pause this recording and answer that question. Now that you've answered question number 2, let's take a look at our introduction. What is a line of symmetry? I want you to stop and think about what you may think a line of symmetry is. And I want you to think if you can find anything in your room that has symmetry based on what you may think a line of symmetry is. And as we go through today's lesson, I want you to think about if you were close to what you thought a line of symmetry is, and if what you found in your room that had symmetry, if it truly indeed does have symmetry. So now you're going to look at question number 3, and it asks you, what is a horizontal line? This is something that's important to know for symmetry. Is it A, a line that goes from left to right, B, imaginary line where you fold the image and both halves match exactly, or C, a line that goes straight up and down? This is a question on your async assignment, and go ahead and pause this and answer that. And we'll see if you get it right. Now that you've answered that question, what is a vertical line? Same multiple choices, a line that goes from left to right, imaginary line where you fold the image and both halves match exactly, or C, a line that goes straight up and down. Go ahead and pause this and answer that question. Now that you've answered what a horizontal and vertical line is, what is a line of symmetry? Is it a line that goes from left to right, an imaginary line where you fold the image and both halves match exactly, or is it a line that goes straight up and down? You may pause this and answer that question. So now that you've answered all 3 questions, horizontal, vertical, and a line of symmetry, let me tell you what a line of symmetry is, and hopefully you got this question right. That letter B, an imaginary line where you fold the image and both halves match exactly, is a line of symmetry. So take a look at this example here of this heart on the screen, okay? Notice that green dotted line that goes right down through the middle. What that's showing you is that that is a line of symmetry. If I were to draw a heart and I were to fold that heart perfectly in half down the middle, that would be our line of symmetry, because we know that on either side of that line of symmetry, those halves would match exactly. Okay, maybe you've done this before where you've taken a piece of paper and you've folded it and you've actually cut out a heart, and when you open it up, both lines or both sides are exactly the same. What you've done there is right on that fold, that is a line of symmetry. And that's exactly what symmetry is, boys and girls. So this is another question on your async assignment. If the figure is folded along the dashed line, will the two halves match exactly? Yes or no? So were you listening to what I just said on the last slide? Go ahead and pause this and go ahead and answer that question. So now that you've answered that question, I want you to think about it. Can a figure have more than one line of symmetry? And this is another question on your async assignment. Can a figure have more than one line of symmetry? So what that means, boys and girls, is can you fold a figure more than one way and still have a perfect line of symmetry? What do you think? Do you think yes or do you think no? Go ahead and pause this and answer that question on your assignment. So let's look at the rectangle below. If you answered yes on the last slide and on that question on your async assignment, then you are absolutely positively correct. Let's look at this. Rectangle. Okay. If I were to cut this rectangle in half right here, okay, and I folded it in half long ways, aren't both sides the exact same? You're probably going to say yes, right? What if I drew a line right down through the middle and I folded it in half vertically? Wouldn't both sides be the exact same? Again, you should probably say yes. So what this means, boys and girls, is that if we go back to this question, can a figure have more than one line of symmetry? Absolutely, it positively can. And we showed that just by looking at our rectangle. What about our square? How many lines of symmetry does a square have? Think about that, okay? If I were to draw a line right down the middle, okay, if I folded this in half, we would have one line of symmetry there. If I were to fold it in half this way, I would have another line of symmetry, okay? So what that tells you is that we could fold a square two ways and have a line of symmetry. Now, what if I asked you, what if I folded it from corner to corner? If it's a square, since it has all equal sides, all right angles, if I folded corner to corner, would we have a line of symmetry? You should probably tell me yes, because we would, and we could do it the other way as well, right? And on Monday, I'm going to actually show you on the video, on the webcam, how I could actually do this. I'm going to show you with paper how this would work. So what this shows you is that a square has 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of symmetry. So you should say 4 lines there. And I think that was actually a question on your async assignment, and I actually just gave it away to you. So hopefully you get that one right. So you may want to pause this and go back and answer that question. So let's look at this one. We're going to practice, okay? If figures are symmetric along the dashed line, all right, let's look at figure 1. If I were to fold this in half on that green line, all right, would that be symmetric? You should tell me yes. You should be saying yes, because if you look at each side, they're the same. What about figure 2? If I were to fold that in half, you should tell me yes, that would be symmetric, because if you look, it's exactly the same on both sides. Now figure 3, I'm going to show you on the webcam on Monday, it would not be symmetric, because if I were to take the bottom angle or vertex And if I were folding it on that green line, that bottom vertex would not be symmetric to the top. Okay, those vertices their vertices would not match. Okay. All right, so this is an example of yes, figures 1 and 2, but no, and this is an example. It shows you here how those corners would not match. Okay. And we will look more in depth on this on Monday. And so now, boys and girls, your exit ticket, your very last question. Tell if the figure is symmetric along the dashed line. Yes or no, is it symmetric? And this is your last question on your async assignment. You can pause this and go ahead and answer that question there by looking at this figure. And now, boys and girls, now that you've completed that, I do have homework for you. There is a geometry review packet that I have attached to your email. This is an awesome review. It's going to help you review everything that we've done so far. Your test is going to be next Wednesday. So we will be doing day 2 of symmetry on Monday. We're going to play a review game on Tuesday, and then your test is on Wednesday. So want you to open that review packet. It's in PowerPoint, and you can go ahead and complete it. If you want to complete it on paper, you can. If not, you can complete it in the PowerPoint, and that should be very helpful for you. So make sure you complete that to help you out. Have a wonderful rest of your async day. Enjoy your weekend, and thank you so much for watching this video and completing your async assignment. You just earned yourself some points for homework, guys. Good job. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.